And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us today. We are in Qatar for round 9 of Inferno Division. Wow, we've come all the way to the end with our 10 season calendar. And today we have 20 drivers ready to roar their way around the streets of Qatar. It will be a short quali with 29 laps in equal cars. And we will view our lineup in just a second once we go into qualifying. Qualifying will be 18 minutes long. This is a very, very abrasive and aggressive track, so it does wear the tire incredibly quickly. So you'll find drivers not wanting to actually save a set of soft tires for the race because those soft tires will be eaten up extremely quickly. Now, you may be wondering why, why are you not racing? Because I am an Inferno driver. And the reason for that is because this is just not one of my preferred tracks. I believe it's quite just not within my skill set to master. It's a very enjoyable track to drive, I must admit. However, I just, I'm not the fastest around the track, so I chose to give my seat up to someone who would like to race, and it's one of their preferred tracks, one of the honorable things to do. So we'll just have a look, and starting from P1 down to P20, in no particular order, we have the McLaren boys of Tusky Bird and Gaia in P19 checking in. One of our reserve drivers. Some of you may know Exotic F1 from Blaze Division and Original M. They're also taking part. They'll be in the AlphaTaris. The ADHD boys. Luke is in the Alpine and Leon is in the Mercedes with his counterparty Ferry in P7 in the Mercedes. We have the Steps in his usual, my teammate in his Aston Martin, joined by F1 Dino down in P20, another Blaze driver. We have I Am Linde, who's currently has 2 points within this division, so he needs to come P4 or higher over the next 2 races to be promoted, unless he will be relegated. We do have Tintin Fish, the Alfa Romeo boys, and Scottish. Shortbread, Jack and joined by Shortbread in the Williams, Rob and I Am Linde in the Hasses, Soa and Sushi's not racing today, and joined by one of our Lakes driver, Carlos, in the McLaren. Marvinovich, who won the race in Blaze yesterday, sorry for there not being a stream, I was at work, my apologies for that, who is in the Red Bull. Next up, we have Brian, one of our newest drivers in the Alpine. And finally, Marcel Kayan, Marvin's teammate in the Red Bull. So we'll have a look out on track at the moment. I believe Marvin is one of the first drivers out on track. If you know about him in Blaze, he does like to get out first, settle up, and then come back in, similar to his counterparty in Alex. Let's see what he can do in this new division. So we can see the conditions for both races are dry. Track temperatures is just sitting above 33 degrees, which is incredibly hot. It's best to set a lap now because in 10 minutes the wind will pick up, which may provide some drag. So as we go on board with Marvin now, he is about to start his hot lap, and we take it away down into turn 1, which is not a heavy braking zone. You want to barely press the brake and bleed the car into the corner, carry as much speed around the corner, hitting the apexes. Same thing for the next section. This is a bike track for MotoGP, so we have sweeping corners. You want to bring the car out to the right hand side and sweep it back in, carrying that speed, keeping the car within track limits, making sure not to invalidate your lap time. He goes purple within sector 1. You want to avoid the overstay of the car, avoid the throttle, down into more sweeping corners, right in the curb on your left hand side and bring it back over to your right hand side, down to the main straight. And in these next sections, you want to keep your feet planted. He has the Williams boys to contend with, who move out of the way. You want to hug this section, not letting up any speed, and there is no sign of any lifts whatsoever. Short change down to sixth gear, and now into the D braking section, off onto the main section straight, and he will have a tow from the Mercedes. I believe it's of ADHD Ferry, will be giving him a tow, and he goes P1 with 120.7. Next behind him is Scottish 121.9. And then I believe we have Original M coming around the corner. Another one of the Blaze Division guys fighting for promotion, and he will put in a 121.3. The steps a 127.8. It looks like he may have made a mistake on that lap. Great time from some of these guys. What we'll do is just have a look with I Am Linde, and now Rob is coming up to finish his lap at the moment, and Rob will put in a 121.2. I Am Linde is right behind him, and I Am Linde goes P4 with a 121.3. Great stuff. What we'll do now is switch on board with ADHD Ferry, who's going on well at the moment. Leon is going out at the moment. ADHD Ferry has invalidated his lap time, and this is exactly what I am talking about. F1 Diner goes P7 with a 121.7. Jack 121.7 as well. So far, Marvinovic is leading the way. Now, you may be wondering where some of our heavy gunners. Here is one, Shortbread, coming in. And, wow, he goes P3 for 121.1. So he will need to improve on that notion. We have Marvinovic's teammate coming across the line on medium tires. And he has invalidated his lap time. The Alpine of ADHD Luke, and ADHD Luke puts it P3. The next Alpine we have coming across the line, we have Brian in P17, is still on a lap. I'm not too sure. It is a flying lap, so he is coming to the end of this run. The rest of the runners in front of him will be boxing, so an impedance should not occur. And he has invalidated, Brian has invalidated his lap. Or Brian, I should say, my apologies. Marcel KN is out on his lap. I believe he may be on a lap on his medium tires. This probably wasn't, it's not going to be a representative lap time. It will just be a benchmark for him. Will he be pitting? No, he will be completing this lap. And he puts in a very respectable 121.5 on 2-lap-old medium tires. And we have Marvinovic going out for his second lap at the moment. Exotic F1 is currently on a lap, and we'll just go around with Exotic F1. Now, you may be wondering, where is our Finnish army? Where is our Finnish compadres? They're actually... like me, not a big fan of this track, so I believe they'll be sitting this one out. Nevertheless, we still have a full grid, so, you know, it's still all to play for them. We have Exotic F1 going strong, riding the left-hand curve, trying not to invalidate, cutting the corner. And now his feet will be planted all the way to the floor. He has a massive snap there coming out of the last corner. So let's see what can happen in this corner. He has pinned it onto the left-hand side. Careful not to invalidate. And here he goes again. Down into 6th gear now. And he's invalidated that run, and he's boxing immediately. Wow. That's not good. Now, what we'll do now is just to recap exactly what happened last race. And in the last result, we have, from pole position, ADHD Leon taking pole in Brazil, Sao Paulo, with the fastest lap going to Jack. Driver of the day was Wingish, because Wingish won it from P19 on the grid. Incredible stuff. Now, if you remember, that was a very, very tumultuous race, um, a wet race as well. So incredible stuff. Now on to Soa, one of our fastest drivers in this league, but he's had moments where he shined, but moments where it just hasn't come together for him. We know, the grid knows, the field knows that he's absolutely one of the fastest driver within Inferno division. I believe he's owed a victory. He's owed a win. His light is flashing. I'm not too sure why that is. His ERS is probably not on as yet. So, not sure why his, yeah, I believe he's now using his ERS now, but we'll just stick with Soa for now and then see where he can go as the drivers gear up for their second lap and their second bite at the cherry. And Soa goes purple in the middle sector. And in my minimap, I can see that Original M has begun his flying lap, and few drivers are coming up to the line. And we have Soa right in this, and he goes P2. But I believe his ERS was off at the beginning of the lap. Not entirely sure why. Original M then, Marvinovic beats that with 120.4. Scottish 121 dead. Marvinovic has some serious pace around this track. Can anyone stop him? We have a few drivers coming across the line. I believe that is Rob coming across the line now. And Rob will put it P6. No one improving. Drivers are starting their fast laps. I'll go on board of Shortbread, who has just started his lap. When a little bit wide there, we have the Original M coming across the line now, and he has not improved. I'll stay on board with Jack, and can Jack make it into the top 5? An incredibly quick driver in Inferno division. Exotic F1 seems to cannot put a lap together for some reason. He's not set a time as yet. Marvinovic, Scottish, and Soa has pitted. Some of our top drivers looking to take that pole position, but with a 6/10 gap between Soa and Marvin. That is incredible. I think Marvin, if no one is like a step up, will have pole today. Jack is about to come across the line, and so is Shortbread. Where will Shortbread put this? Shortbread goes P3. Wow, just 1,000 quicker than Scottish, and Jack puts it P12. The McLaren boys are on fire, and we have Marcel Cairn coming across the line to start his flying lap. I believe this will be his only flying lap today, because does he have enough time to get out and put a new set of tires on? I believe he doesn't, because he has 5 minutes remaining. 5 minutes remaining for these drivers. Next across the line, I believe Gaia will be setting their final lap. And Gaia has started their final lap. Yeah, it's all quiet at the moment because all drivers are gearing up to go out again. What we'll do now is just go on board with Marcel Cairn, absolutely acing that middle sector, feet planted to the ground. Last time he invalidated here. Can he send this car around? Through he goes. Final sector, short run up to the line. Careful not to run out of ERS. He has run out of ERS and he goes P2. Incredible stuff from Marcel Cayenne. The Red Bull army is out. Adrian Newey, what? We don't need you, Adrian Newey. Let's go, Marcel Cayenne. Incredible stuff by him. I believe there's a trick now. By turning off your ERS, you maximize your ERS at the very end of the lap because Qatar has an incredibly long straight. So when drivers arrive to the end of the line, their ERS runs out. So by you having it off during the sectors that you don't need that ERS, which is why we probably saw Soa have his ERS off, when he turns it back on again, at the end of the sector, he'll have that boost in speed where it really matters to give him that extra tenths of a second. Right, most of these drivers are on a flying lap. ADHD Luke, here we go, 2/10 up, purple middle sector. Incredible, he is going for that pole position. ADHD Luke, oh my gosh, and he has went off track. Does he have enough time to get a new pair of boots on and back out? Has he used up all of his tires already? He has invalidated his lap time. 3 minutes, 5 seconds to go. He will have enough time to put a new pair of tires on and then out again. And now marching his way out onto his hot lap. Do-dum, do-dum, do-dum. You hear the Terminator sound calls. It is Marvinovic 09, the fierce rival to Alex, the first driver to outqualify ESPL Alex, and the first driver to beat him in a fair fight. Can he win his first race in Qatar and make an incredible impression on these Division 1 drivers and show them that he is Division 1 material? Or can Shortbread show him that he is still king of this division and Shortbread reclaims his pole position? Or will it be Soa? Stay tuned to find out. Now we have a driver on track on a lap at the moment, and it is Rob. I'm not too sure what's happened here, but Rob has gone off track. Everyone else is out on a hot lap. Comment, please, who would you like see win? And the first driver across the line to begin their lap will be Scottish in the Alfa Romeo. And off he goes, burning his ERS, so he may not have ERS towards the end of the lap unless he turns it off now. And through Sector 1 he goes. Let's see what his first Sector 1 time is. He's coming up to the detection point now, and he is 300ths down on his personal best. Or I believe that may be the overall sector's personal best. We're not sure, chat. What we're going to do is just go on board the chat. He's a little squiggly outside of the corner now and riding the curb, cutting the track. And down the gate he goes into 4th gear and he invalidates! Scottish invalidates, and P5 at best for him today. Can the other drivers improve? And the driver behind him will be Marvinovic. And Marvin has also invalidated as well. So that's it done for him. That is it done for him. 18 seconds left. I believe Scottish may be trying to get to the line before the timer is out. And can Scottish go once again? Does he? I don't believe he has enough ERS to do it. So that is it for Scottish. Now, who else is coming across the line? We have Tusky Beard. No, he can't do it. Gaia has finished in P15. Exotic F1 has put it in P6. Well, with a purple large sector. And Tusky Beard is coming across now. Tusky Beard goes P2 with a 120.8. Next across the line is a Haas of I Am Linde with P3, 120.8. And Aston Martin is coming across the line now. The steps cannot go higher than P9. The McLaren of Soa goes back P2. Incredible stuff. Rob has invalidated. Let's go into the Mercedes boys. Leon, our pole sitter from last race. Can he take pole position today from Marvinovic, who has invalidated? No, he can't. P5 for him, and his teammate ADHD Ferry has gone P2 with a 120.7. Brian, P20. F1 Dyno, P18. And then we have the Williams boys, and it's P6 for Shortbread. And your pole sitter for today is Marvinovic, ADHD Ferry, and Soa in P3. Well done, guys. Incredible stuff there. And the gap between everyone is 3/10. Wow. Marvin has really, really, really laid his marker down. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Marvin, P1, Ferry, P2, Soa, P3, Tusky Beard, P5, I Am Linde, the crucial P5. If he can finish there, he can stay within this division. Shortbread, one of the fastest drivers. Incredible how he's P6. Leon, our pole sitter for last race, P7. Tintin, P8. Marcel KN could not improve, P9. Scottish, invalidated his lap time, P10. Exotic F1, P11. The Steps, P12. ADHD Luke, P13. Rob, absolute shocker, P14. Carlos, P15. Original M. Jack, Gaia, F1 Dyno, and finally Brian in P20. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is honestly one of the craziest qualifying sessions that none of us could have predicted. Amazing GG's to Marvin from Belgium. Can he, keep it? Can he extend that glory feeling by winning the Qatari Grand Prix in Inferno division? Let's see. Kevin De Bruyne has scored a header in the Man City game, but you know what's more important? F1 in Inferno division. Can Marvin take it home? Can Shortbread make his way up from P6? Can Original M climb the ladders from P16? It's been reported that he has a few connection issues, but let's see. There's fast drivers up and down the grid with Rob in P13. I believe Rob is in P14. What will the tyre strategy be? Let's see. With 4 red lights, 5 red lights, and lights out, and away we go. And Marvinovic has a great launch, but so does Ferry. Ferry has tucked in, and in the back you can see cars going 4 wide down the main straight and into the Curva Grande. Can they get out of it? Okay. And the Haas has gone off wide of I Am Linde. He's lost 1 position. I believe he's made it back. This is incredible stuff going on. Absolutely no signs of collision. And can everyone get through this all right? Yes, they can. The Ferrari of Gaia has gone out wide, and there's a crash. There is a crash of ADHD Leon has gone into the wall. He's gone into the barrier. I believe he's lost his front wing. So ADHD Leon will be playing catch up with the fact right back at the front we have ADHD Luke getting past F1 Dyno. And I will bring up the telemetry details now of the position changes. ADHD Leon has lost 13th position. Marcel KN has had a horrible start of 4 positions. The tyre graphic has shown there is a clear split between medium and hard tyres. Medium and hard tyres. Marvinovic is desperately trying to break the ERS gap between himself and Soa. Soa's desperately trying to stay within it of using his battery. Marvin is not using his battery. And then we go down further. Marcel Kane is losing place after place after place. I believe he's pitted, maybe getting a new front wing. So is ADHD Leon. Virtual safety car, VSC, virtual safety car, and Shortbread has a 5-second penalty for a collision with I Am Linde. If that came under the safety car, he will be able to remove it. But there is now an incredible gap between ADHD Ferry and Soa. So he will have to work to try to bring that back down. The virtual safety car should be ending shortly. The tyre strategy is take the mediums as long as possible because the degradation is fine, and Marcel Kane has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car, and he has retired on track. Not too sure if that's going to bring out a safety car, and I Am Linde has gotten past Scottish. And Tintin Fish is riding the bumper of Tutski Beard, absolutely trying to get past that Ferrari. Incredible stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. The gaps are incredible. Exotic is on the very back of Shortbread. These tyre performances look slightly even to me from my perspective, but now DRS is enabled and drivers are tussling. We have Exotic F1 pulling out of the DRS. Can he make the move around Shortbread? Is he going to make the audacious move on one of the fastest drivers in Inferno division? And a through. No, he doesn't. Now he has the inside on Shortbread, and Exotic F1 through he goes on Shortbread, but Shortbread's doing the switchback on Exotic F1. But right behind him, Rob gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings of track limits. Incredible stuff. And up ahead, Soa is managing to stick with Marvinovic with his hard tires. If Soa can stick in his DRS, that is incredible for him because he will now switch onto the mediums while Marvin will have to go onto the hards quite soon. Advantage Soa. Marvin desperately needs to break that DRS from Soa. And then we see that it is a DRS train all the way from P1 all the way to P17. ADHD Leon and Carlos seems to be slightly out of this due to having to box early with that damage. But incredible stuff here. Rob is right on the back of Shortbread. Shortbread is losing places after places. Massive snap from Rob there. And he is going after Shortbread. And there he goes and making the move on Shortbread. Scottish is defending his position. And through goes Rob on Shortbread. Incredible. ADHD Ferry has a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings of track limits. As you can tell, ladies and gentlemen, this will be a race of track limits and not to get them, similar to Imola, but now this has a bit of runoff error, so without the jeopardy. But Robbie's been incredibly aggressive and going down the inside on Exotic F1, and there's a slight collision between Exotic F1 and Rob. And now Shortbread is trying to take advantage of that between the two. Wow. And now look who's rocking up on the back of them. It is the Steps getting brought back into this battle. But with all this battling, Rob is losing slight time to Scottish in the Alfa Romeo, who's chasing down the back of Rob's teammate, who's I Am Linde, who desperately needs these points to get promoted to the to this division, or to avoid relegation. My apologies. But up ahead we see Tusky Beard losing that DRS to Ferry, and Soa is desperately trying to stay in the DRS train of Marvinovic, who both of them are using their ERS to want to stay and want to break. And Marvin has that fastest lap of the race of 1:24. Wow. Slight breather, but no, not again. A Scottish goal send it around the outside of I Am Linde, and I Am Linde has no answer for Scottish. And I Am Linde is desperately trying to battle Scottish, but Scottish has made that move stick, and down the back straight we have all these other drivers of the step shortbread battling it out, and Exotic F1 past shortbread. Shortbread is in 10th position. These hard tires are taking a while to warm up or to be competitive, but you have Soa doing an incredible job of holding on to Marvin. And now Tintin Fish has officially lost the DRS to Tusky Bear, so Tintin Fish will either need to let his teammate through or press that ERS button and try to get back in the DRS range of Tusky Bear, because Tusky is desperately losing the ERS advantage to F1 Ferry, or ADHD Ferry, my apologies. Tusky basically has no ERS left, and Ferry has over 50% left, and he has a DRS. Does Tusky Bear has a DRS? Yes, he does. Then we switch back into pack, and it's just a DRS train with Rob having nothing. Rob has no ERS with 13 to 12% remaining. And will I Am Linde let Rob through? Who is the faster driver here? Rob is having snaps after snaps, track limits after track limits. But look who is right on the back of Marvinovic. It is Soa. I believe the mediums are dying right now. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is a very, very high abrasive circuit. And Tintin Fish has officially lost the DRS Tusky Bear, so he has a choice to make. Team orders. Will he let Scottish through for Scottish to close that gap between himself and Tusky Bear? Crazy stuff. And F1 Dyno has gotten a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings of track limits. It is 3-0 Manchester City. 3-0 Manchester City. See, boring game. Very predictable. But look what's not predictable and what's not boring. Inferno division. Tintin Fish losing that gap and pace advantage, but Rob is all over the place. Another 3-second time penalty. That is 6 seconds to his name now. He's fast, but he's fast at an extreme amount of cost. And Soa has gone for the lead of this race, and he's taken it from Marvinovic, and Exotic has tried to overtake Rob, and Rob is now going for the move on Exotic, and I Am Linde is going around the outside of Scottish. Oh my goodness. And Scottish has fended him off, and Exotic F1 is going around the outside of Rob, not to make it work. Drivers are having absolute masses of snaps because this tire wear is incredibly high. And I bet Sir Spongy's looking at this thinking, damn, I should have raced. I shouldn't have watched my team get battered and bruised. But, you know, your loss. Look at this. Marvinovic driving your Red Bull in P2 with a 6-10 gap to Soa. Soa is absolutely pushing these tires and creating that gap. Wow. Incredible stuff. Now we have Scottish losing the DRS to his teammate because he's constantly being attacked and petrified by I Am Linde and Rob. I Am Linde and Rob is not letting up, and Scottish does not have the DRS, so Scottish cannot defend this down the back straight, and both Hasses will be past Scottish now. Will Scottish deploy his ERS? No, he'll wait and save it, and I Am Linde is through. Rob is also through with absolutely no ERS within the bag. If Scottish can make this work and keep them on, no, he's lost both positions to both teams, and Rob has gone deep, and Rob has made it through. Through goes Rob and Scottish, and Leon has a 3-second penalty in 18th position. And I've missed this overtake. Marvinovic has gotten back past Soa, so these mediums are not done as yet. But it's just a matter of time until Soa is back past Marvin. Soa has done an incredible job an incredible job of staying with his hard tires in Marvin's DRS train with these mediums. But now we look down and Tintin Fish, 3.3 seconds the gap is. He does not have the pace advantage to match Tusky. Tusky's way too much for him. Shortbread, I believe these hard tires have switched on now because now Shortbread and Exotic F1 are right on the back of Scottish. What can Scottish do? Now we look down the back of Original M, who started in 16th position and has made up 4 places. Original M with his medium tires, and the Steps is attacking Shortbread. Switching back on Shortbread, the Steps has turned his ERS and DRS on. Steps versus Shortbread, what can happen here? The Shortbread does have his on as well. Who has the lower downforce? Can the Steps make it work? The Steps will have the inside, the Shortbread on the outside, and there is now Fatari in the way. And Shortbread can break a little bit later. Now Shortbread has the inside of the corner, and Shortbread will retain that position, but the Steps says no, and the Steps is pushing him around the track, and the Steps now has that position, and the Steps has overtaken Shortbread. What has actually happened to Shortbread? It is absolutely mental. One of the fastest drivers within this cohort has been absolutely mugged from 6th position all the way down to 11th. Now on the back of Shortbread is Original M. Original M right in the back of Shortbread. And Tintin Fish, the gap is almost 4 seconds. Brian in P16 has a P3 second penalty to his name. This DRS field from P1 all the way down to P15, because Brian has now dropped out of it, is incredible. F1 Dyno desperately needs to get past Brian and make it back into the DRS train of Gaia FXS. Incredible. Looking where Rob is now. Rob and I Am Linde, as I mentioned, is past Scottish. They're attacking his teammate of Tintin Fish. Can they get past him? I Am Linde is going for the move. Can he make the move? Yes, he does, and goes up the inside of I Am Linde. And I Am Linde is fighting back around the outside and push. He's like, Tintin Fish pushes him wide, and there is a crash. There is a crash of ADHD Luke. ADHD Luke has spun, I believe. I'm not entirely sure what's happened, but we go back on board with Tintin Fish versus Rob. Scottish is also attacking, and Rob has another 3 second penalties. Ladies and gentlemen, that is 9 seconds to his name. Rob is trying to help his teammate out, and I believe Rob has given the position back. He has given the position back to Scottish out of fairness, but now Rob has pushed Scottish in the back slightly, and look who's capitalizing on that move is Exotic F1, trying to be sneaky and trying to get that position from Scottish. All of this, ladies and gentlemen, is costing time to the leaders, and Soa has now officially dropped out of that DRS zone to Marvinovic. Jack has a 3 second penalty, and Rob has gone into the pit lane. He has given up on this fight. It's costing way too much time, and he's pit in the attempt to undercut these guys. And up ahead we see that the AlphaTauri of Exotic F1 has gotten back past Scottish, and Scottish just said no, and Scottish does a switcheroo on Exotic F1. Incredible stuff, but through goes the Steps. The Steps F1 has taken them both. Whoa. Oh my gosh. And Tintin Fish and I Am Linde is having a tumultuous fight. And Exotic F1 versus Scottish. I believe Scottish is probably annoyed about this, because Scottish knows his pace and knows that these guys are pulling away from him with all this fighting. So you can probably understand his frustration. And some drivers may come into pit right now, but there's collision between Scottish, oh my gosh, and Exotic F1. It's aging tires and lack of ERS straight which led to that collision. I don't believe there was anything malicious about it, but all intact. I hope Scottish doesn't have any wing damage. Neither does Exotic F1 have any rear wing damage. Tintin Fish now has a 3 second penalty. I Am Linde has a 3 second penalty. ADHD has a Ferry that is as a 3 second penalty. And I Am Linde is right on the back of Tintin Fish. They're having a fight for the ages, but Scottish goes out wide and takes out the DRS board with him. And F1 Dino has a 3-second penalty. This group is incredible. I Am Linde goes past Tintin Fish. Scottish is losing place after place as the McLaren boys are absolutely drilling past him. Scottish is, I'm not too sure if he has damage from that collision with Exotic F1, but he is dropping through the stone with Gaia right on the back of him. F1 Dyno has pitted as well onto new fresh mediums, and Rob is closing down upon this group time after time after time. Ladies and gentlemen, Soa has dropped 1.3 second to Marvinovic, but the fact that he can keep that gap steady is that he will have an incredible tire advantage come the end of this race when he boxes on, I'm not sure, let's say lap 16, lap 17, with lighter fuel. He will be flying. Marvin has to come in the next 3 laps mandatory, if not the next lap, because these medium tires will be absolutely screaming. Also, these drivers will have to worry about their fuel consumption because safety car is incredibly low at this point. The VSC at the beginning of the race will help them out, but now it won't. As Tintin Fish gets back past I Am Linde, but I Am Linde is fighting with these ERS lights flashing, but I believe they should stop fighting because they have successfully managed to drop the group of Exotic F1 Original M Shortbread and Jack. And let's have a look on Original M with Rob doing a 124.8. He is absolutely flying. So he will successfully undercut this group. But the difficulty is that now, by undercutting the group, Rob has put himself into a position where he'll be on old tires when the group pits. But luckily or hopefully he will have enough of a gap. So we go to Original M, who started in 16th position. Now he's in 9th position. 9th, apologies, with his teammate Exotic F1. Will Exotic F1 let him through? Because no, he won't, because Exotic F1 is on the better tires at the current moment. And Soa has closed the gap down, but Exotic F1 has a 3-second penalty, and I believe Aston Martin has pitted, and it's the steps, so Scottish has pitted. And if we have a look at where Rob comes out, because Rob is battling against these drivers, as I Am Linde takes that P5 position away from Tintin Fish, and Exotic F1 versus Original M, I don't believe that they're fighting too much. Has we switched now to Rob to see where he comes out with his 9-second penalty, which I don't believe can be removed. We go to Rob with a fastest lap of the race again with no ERS, and that is a tumultuous gap that he's absolutely pulled to his rivals. Incredible stuff. ADHD Ferry is now back in the DRS track of Soa. So game on. Has Tusky Beard is 3 seconds. He's kind of in a no man's land between P3 and P5. So he has no immediate challengers and he's not actually challenging anyone. Now we look down the order at Gaia, who's having a pretty successful race by sticking with this DRS train, and Jack and Shortbread. I believe we should have interviews after this race. We should, but we don't. That will be coming next season to see exactly what's happened. I would love to speak to Shortbread to find out what about this track is the reason why he's not so dominant and why is he not leading. Whereas we have I Am Linde. I Am Linde now is now in P6. And has pitted now. Absolutely gone. Tintin Fish has gone as well. But look who's coming the pits. Marvinovic is coming the pits as well. And Scottish has a 3-second penalty. And look who's running down the back straight, or the main straight of Rob. Can Rob undercut? No, he can't. He can't undercut Marvinovic, but he can come close to ADHD Ferry though. 1 second or 0.7 seconds. This is probably a master strategy from Rob. The undercut in this track is incredibly powerful. When everyone pits and the gaps reshuffles, then we'll go and see what is happening. But off the new tires, there's collision between Jack and Gaia. Oh my gosh, Gaia's now in the pit lane. I don't know what exactly happened right there, but there is a collision. I believe, I don't know what's happened, but drivers do report that. Up ahead, we can see the AlphaTauri boys going along very, very nicely. Exotic F1 pulling Original M along with him, and Shortbread is sticking right with them. And Soa has pitted. Could he have gone longer? Is he scared of the undercut by Marvinovic? Let's see the gap as to when he will come out. He will be on medium tires, so he will be one of the fastest drivers in this race. Tusky Bird is taking my silly advice and he's going long. He is absolutely going long, but will this put him in the clenches of the drivers behind? And Marvinovic is coming out there, so there's Marvinovic, through goes Marvinovic. Will Soa come out ahead of these other drivers? Yes, he will. Has Rob gets past ADHD Ferry, and ADHD Ferry will not be happy about that. Absolutely not. The gap from Soa to Marvin is 3 seconds. That is how powerful the undercut is within this track in Qatar. Behind, you will see the Steps, who's gone for the undercut as well and has managed to come out with I Am Linde, who you remember was battling with Tintin Fish. So Tintin Fish should be coming in within the next couple laps now. Now, the difficulty is to take these medium tires to this long or to this length of a time is an incredible stint that you have to put up by Soa and Exotic F1, who's now pitted. His teammate Original M couldn't pit that lap and has now taken his medium tires to 15 laps. So his medium tires probably is screaming at the moment right now. And Original M is pitting right now. So is Tusky, but Tintin is staying out. So is Shortbread. They're going for the long haul. Maybe hoping for a safety car. The chance for safety car in this track is incredibly low. And ADHD Ferry's gone back past Rob. And I Am Linde has put in the fastest lap of this race with about 1:24 dead. And he has made it past someone. I Am Linde has or is on the very, very back of the steps, with Jack having a 3-second penalty. Incredible stuff. The only stoppers or the only individuals we have remaining is Tintin Fish versus Shortbread. And there is a crash. Oh my gosh, there's a crash with F1 Dyno. I believe either he crashed or he spun out. I am not entirely sure why that has happened, but there is a crash. No safety cars yet. Scottish is on soft tires. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Scottish, why he's in P18. We'll hear from the drivers after the race, but we have Tusky Bird, who was running in P3, and there's a crash between Jack. Jack has crashed. Safety car, virtual safety car. Jack, you can see the stricken Williams on the side of the pit wall of the pit entry. Wow. Tintin Fish, this is his time to pit. I'm not too sure how Jack managed to crash, but he has crashed. And look who has benefited from this. Shortbread. Shortbread has benefited from this, and now he has fresh medium tires to attack. DRS is enabled now. Drivers are off again. Scottish has retired. F1 Dyno has retired in the pit lane, and so not sure why so many drivers are retired, but I guess if it is a bit too much bit too much to catch up with. So we have Shortbread right on the back of this field, but up ahead we can see Soa has closed that gap down to 1.2 seconds, and Marvin has about 20% more ERS than Soa, and he's chasing him down for that victory. Tintin Fish is going long, going absolutely long. But there's a stricken or an abandoned Aston Martin coming back out on pitch in front of Tintin Fish. Will that get in the way? No, it won't. I believe it will retire at the side of the track, and hopefully it doesn't get in the way. No, it doesn't. It's out of the way completely. And we have Soa 1.1 second back, ADT Ferry 1.3 second back. Down below we have Shortbread getting past Gaia, Original M, and Shortbread is absolutely on rails with these tyres now. Now his true pace can be unleashed in this latter part of the race. So Tusky Beard getting past I Am Linde, and I Am Linde is fighting back. I Am Linde can seize the position and tuck back in. Past Tusky Beard, incredible overtake by Tusky right there. Up ahead of Tusky is the Steps F1. And now we have the closest battle on track, where Tintin Fish is pitting with the person that he was fighting with, I Am Linde, just a few seconds back, coming up to the pit lane now. Gaia has a 3-second penalty. Tintin Fish probably going onto the medium tires, or will it be the soft? No, he will be going for the soft tires, so he will be making overtake after overtake. But will these soft tires hold up for another 9 laps? As Exotic F1 goes for the fastest lap of the race for 123.9, but beaten by Shortbread with a 122.9. Wow. Incredibly rapid. Now we have Soa lurking right behind Marvin. And I believe during this time, Soa will want to just save his ERS. He has burnt it to get in the DRS range of Marvin, but Marvin has nearly 50% ERS remaining. So Soa would want to spend these next 9 laps building back up so he can attack. Soa right on the back of Marvin. Down ahead, down below, you can see Tusky Beard has gotten past the Steps, and the Steps is struggling to hold on to the fresh 3-lap tires of Tusky. Tusky's closing down on Rob. I doubt Rob can hold on to that P4 position, but he's done tremendously well to go for an incredible undercut on the field. I Am Linde is coming right past the Steps, but not enough room. But down we can see Gaia overtaking Original M. Original M demoted to 11th place. Tintin Fish on his fresh 1 lap old soft tires, and this will be his first official full lap on these tires, and you can see the amount of time he's taking out of Original M. Ridiculous. It was over a second when they went past the start finish straight. Now it's just 5/10. And there he goes right on the back, and we'll just view Tintin Fish progress. But up ahead we can see Soa's breathing down the back of Marvinovic, and Tintin Fish makes the move on Original M. Original M tried to fight it but couldn't, or didn't have the grip that Tintin Fish did. And Tintin Fish sporting his Ferrari helmet right on the back of the Scarlet Red Ferrari of Gaia. 2/10 is the gap. Feet down all the way, absolutely no lifting through these corners where Gaia has to lift, and Tintin is going to send it down the inside. He's going to probably wait till the DRS straight. You can see him feathering the throttle, getting that DRS. Now he's going to be planting it right down Marvin. And up ahead, we can see that Soa has made the move on Marvinovic. Can Soa use his medium tires to pull a gap out? Or will it be a cat and mouse game all the way to the end? And then through goes Tintin. And he's going after Shortbread, who's just 4 laps ahead of him. And Tintin Fitch's last lap didn't capture the fastest lap because he probably had traffic, but he's absolutely taking time already out of Shortbread. Let's see the gap ahead. 14% ERS and Soa, 50% ERS and Marvin. Rob has another 3-second penalty, which makes him 12 seconds. He will finish outside of the points once all is said and done. Incredible stuff of how he managed to rack up a lot of time penalties during this medium or 50% race. That could be a record. And then Tusky Bear with a 0.8 gap to Rob absolutely cut that down. If you remember when you got past I Am Linde, it was 4 seconds the gap is. Now it's 0.6. No need to use ERS, just the DRS. Can he get past? Yes, he does. He goes for the move. Robs leaves him the space, but Tusky had to back out. Original M is past Gaia. They're having their own topsy-turvy battle, but you can tell that Tusky really wants to get rid of Rob right now because just ahead of him is Ferry on just 3 seconds up the road. So he wants to try some way, somehow to try a cheeky maneuver and just slip up the inside of Rob. But Rob is saying no and just fighting like a lion, like the Spaniard that he is. And Marvin is back past Soa. I think Soa should just stay behind, charges ERS. Behind, Ferry has a 80% ERS to probably defend from Tusky with. Soa desperately needs to save his or recharges ERS. Marvin is still on 50% ERS. And we have the Steps and I Am Linde that's battling it out. Tintin Fish is now 1.2 seconds from Shortbread. I believe he won't be getting DRS from Shortbread. And now Tusky's gone on the attack of Rob. Rob has gone on the defense, but there's nothing he can do. He has a DRS pressure tires, and through Tusky goes. Rob will try to do something, but Rob has a massive snap, and that is all she wrote. That is it for Rob and his battle to try to hold position. Tusky's already taken a second out to Ferry, so Ferry has to deploy his ERS where it matters to try to defend from Tusky Bird, but Rob has managed to hold up Tusky for a lap or so while his tires are used up. Down below we have the Steps versus I Am Linde. We have 30% ERS of the Steps versus 10% of I Am Linde. Linde needs or desperately needs to hold on to the position. Will Rob do I Am Linde a solid? And I can see that Original M has lagged out for some strange reason. His car is ghosting. Do please try to rejoin the session. See if you can rejoin the session. I don't believe it's it's probably a server error, but let's see what can happen here. As we go back ahead, we'll stick with the leading pack in the last 2 to 3 laps of this race because it's absolutely tantalizing. Up ahead, we have Rob getting back past Tusky Beard, being a big annoyance to Tusky Beard. Tusky Beard is probably like, what is this guy doing? Leave me alone. Let me just enjoy my race and go ahead. But Rob is saying no. He fights to the end like a lion, which he's entitled to do. The Steps has gotten past I Am Linde. I Am Linde desperately needs these points to be promoted to stay within this division. So you can imagine his desperation of staying in. Down below, Exotic F1 and Shortbread are fighting it out, and now joined by Tintin Fish. I believe those soft tires, as I mentioned, 5 laps sold, are dead. what we'll do now ahead, we'll stick ahead and we'll see if Soa's reclaiming his ERS. Like I said, he's not. He's still on 14%. Marvin is on, wow, 51% ERS. So it's in his hand, and these medium tires will be dying. Rob has another 3-second penalty, and Soa has a massive snap coming onto the main straight. And Rob has, if I put up the actual penalties, wow, 15-second penalty for Robert Widow, 9 for Leon, and everyone else has 3. Yeah, Rob will definitely finish outside of the points at that point. Soa, what can happen here? Soa versus Marvin. Then we have I Am Linde that's now back past the steps. The steps versus I Am Linde. I Am Linde desperately needs these points. Will Rob do him a solid and back up and help him fight the steps? Team game, but dragging them along is Shortbread, who's now past Exotic F1, and Exotic F1 is being pressured now. I'll put the gap up on screen. Absolutely pressured by Tintin Fish. The steps versus I Am Linde is our closest battle on pitch, and the Tintin Fish has gotten past Exotic F1, and you can see the gap. I believe Exotic F1 has left the session. Something has happened. What has happened to the AlphaTauri boys? They are completely being lagged out of the session. Do please try to rejoin. Up ahead, we can see that the steps has gotten past I Am Linde, and Soa has gotten past Marvinovic. Now, these guys, the lead guys of Ferry, Marvin and Soa, well, Soa and Marvin have dropped Ferry, and Ferry is now being absolutely pressured by Tutski, and Tutski's 1.1 second away. Tutski did not have that ding-dong of a battle with Rob. He'll probably already be past Ferry already. Ferry has 97% ERS remaining to defend with. So Tutski really has nothing in the tank with 16% remaining. So incredible stuff going on here, chat. With Marvin waiting patiently with his 54%. Soa has 8% and flashing. Marvin's seen that it is like blood in the water for a shark. Going after it. Will Marvin make the move now, or will he play it safe and just shut his DRS flaps? Nope, he's going for the move. Ignore me. And he reclaims P1. These guys have had an incredible battle for 28 laps. The next lap will be the final lap now, and we have Rob Ferry deploying his ERS to put that down, and the steps versus Shortbread. Steps have made the move. I Am Linde says no. Shortbread is trying to be cheeky and trying to come back around. Incredible stuff, and Shortbread versus I Am Linde. I Am Linde then takes that P7 position. P8. Shortbread is right in the back of it. Soa has a 3-second penalty. OMG. Soa has a 3-second penalty. Can it be removed, or is that his fate sealed? Ladies and gentlemen, and I Am Linde now has a 3-second penalty. Wow, guys, it's racking up. He has a 6-second penalty. I believe that could potentially make him fall out of the points, ladies and gentlemen, if it finishes this way. Wow, I don't know what to say. These penalties are getting in the way of extremely good racing, but you know, First you finish, you have to finish, and Soa has gone for the move on Marvin, and Marvin has then stuck it up the inside. Soa's gone around the outside. Soa's flashing. Marvin goes for the switchback on Soa. Marvin's gotten the switchback on Soa, but Soa has the inside of the corner. But Marvin goes and powers it around the outside, and Marvin reclaims the lead of this race. Wow. Final laps in this race. Who will take home the victory? Marvin or Soa? Into sector 2 they go. Soa does not have anything to play with. Marvin has 41% ERS, and you can see him burning that ERS. He's going for victory. He's going for goal in his scarlet red helmet, donning the Red Bull in his very first race in the Inferno division, impressing everyone. He has not gotten the hat-trick today, but he has gotten pole, and he will, seeming like it, be taking home P1 with a ding-dong battle of a monstrous fight with Soa, and Soa has a 3-second penalty to top and add insult to injury, but nevertheless, across the line, in the number, I believe his car is a number 99, of Marvinovic, taking it GG's from Marvin and Soa. Soa P1, Soa P2, Marvin P1. ADHD has enough ERS to hold off the chasing Tusky Blade in the Ferrari P3, Tusky P4. And now we have Rob, who looks like he's run out of fuel, and the steps have taken it from Shortbread. P and Rob has finished down the line. We have Tintin Fishing P7 and his soft tires. I am Linde in P8. Next across the line in the Exotic F1, P9. Rob is still falling down the line. Gaia ran out of fuel. P11. Brian out of fuel as well. P12. Next up across the line, we have ADHD Leon, who unfortunately, I believe an incident happened at the beginning of the race. P13. Everyone's crashing at the moment, but that's just a celebratory anger at the end of the race. We have Original M, who successfully managed to rejoin the session. Unfortunately, he left. P14. GG's for rejoining. P15. Carlos, thank you for coming along. And last but not least, thank you so much for joining Luke. ADHD Luke in the Alpine in P16. And that is it for today in Qatar. Your winner, Marvin, impressive stuff. And your driver of the day is Rob with 15-second penalty. Interesting. GG's to the winners, guys. Well done to the race winners. Unlucky for some, unlucky for Original M, Exotic F1, ADHD Leon at the beginning of the race. But GG's to Marvin, who managed to rack up absolutely no penalty, 25 points taken home in this division. Soa, Ferry, Tutski, and all our other drivers. Thank you for joining us. I'll put the race director's notes up. If any of the drivers want to appeal any of your track limits, please see here. Quite a lot of track limits, as you can imagine. And there you go. That recording will be saved on Twitch. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. I've been your host, D. Next week, we have the F1 24 giveaway in Vegas, Viva Las Vegas. It will be 13 drivers joining us next week for the final stage. And those 13 drivers will be Shortbread, Mikesa, Anelio, Rob, Soa, Alex, Phantom, Wakili, Mr. Mancan, The Steps, Wingix, Exotic F1, and Omni Chimney. One of those drivers will be winning F1 24 from myself and Sir Spongy. Thank you so much for joining us today, guys. Inferno Division will return in 2 weeks for the season finale in Abu Dhabi. I've been your host. Thank you so much, and good night.